How Jacob D works, how it is different. If approved by the regulator, Jacob D will be the world's first DNA vaccine against infection with SARS-CoV-2. Ahmedabad-based Zydus Cadila has applied to Central Drugs Standard Control Organization CDSCO, the national drugs regulator, seeking emergency use authorization for Jacob D, its COVID-19 vaccine. If approved by the regulator, Jacob D will be the world's first DNA vaccine against the infection with SARS-CoV-2. What is Jacob D vaccine and how does it work? Jacob D is a plasma DNA vaccine or a vaccine that uses genetically engineered non-replicating versions of a type of DNA molecule known as plasmid. The plasmids in this case are coded with instructions to make the spike protein of SARS-CoV-2, the coronavirus that causes COVID-19. Vaccination gives the code to cells in the recipient's body so they can begin making the spiky outer layer of the virus. The immune system is expected to recognize this as a threat and develop antibodies in response. Most COVID-19 vaccines currently are given in two doses, with a couple of single shot ones also available. Jacob D, by contrast, will be given in three doses, with an interval of 28 days between the first and second and third shots. The other unique thing about the vaccine is the way it is given. No needle is used. Instead, a spring-powered device delivers the shot as a narrow, precise stream of fluid that penetrates the skin. Jacob D has been developed with the support of the central government's Department of Biotechnology and the Indian Council of Medical Research. How safe and effective is the vaccine? Jacob D has been tested in Phase 1, 2 and 3 clinical trials involving 28,000 participants in all. 1,000 of these participants were of ages between 12 and 18 years. In December 2020, Zydus Group Chairman Pankaj R. Patel had said the first two phases of the trial showed that the vaccine was safe and immunogenic. According to trial data, so far the vaccine has been able to bring down symptomatic cases of COVID-19 in those who received doses by nearly 67% compared with those who did not get a vaccine. This is based on 79 to 90 RT-PCR confirmed cases of COVID-19 from those vaccinated in the Phase 3 trials. Zydus Cadila Managing Director Dr. Sharvil Patel said, two doses of the vaccine seems to be enough to prevent people from developing severe symptoms of COVID-19 and to prevent death, while the three doses keep even moderate symptoms at bay according to trial data. How does the vaccine fare against the Delta variant? The large-scale Phase 3 trial of Jacob D was conducted at 50 clinical trial sites across the country during the peak of the second wave of COVID-19, and the company believes that this reaffirms the vaccine's effectiveness against the Delta variant of the coronavirus. You note that 99% of all strains that has been found in sero surveillance tests have been the Delta variant. Our data was in the peak of April, May and June, Dr. Patel said. He said the company can upgrade Jacob D if needed to target other variants of concern and variants of interest that become more infectious or virulent in nature. The company is currently making the construct to study the current effectiveness of the vaccine in neutralizing these variants. Are there any concerns with the vaccine? According to Dr. Patel, the company has submitted data from Phase 1 clinical trials of Jacob D, and this is almost ready to be published on a preprint server for peer review. It is preparing the Phase 2 data for publication as well. But data from Phase 3 trial, which is still underway, will take another 4 to 6 months. Public health activists have pointed out that little scientific evidence from the human clinical trials has been published so far on the vaccine safety and immunogenicity. Historically, some safety concerns have been raised about DNA vaccines, including their potential theoretically to integrate into cellular DNA or cause autoimmune diseases. However, physicians and vaccine researcher Dr. Margaret A. Liu wrote in 2019 article published in MDPI that to date both preclinical testing and careful clinical monitoring have shown DNA vaccine to not induce or to worsen autoimmunity. Jaidus Cadilla's Dr. Patel said DNA vaccines are not infectious by nature. They do not involve the use of other potentially harmful particles like viral vectors, which minimizes the risk of vaccine enhanced disease, he said. What happens here onward? The regulator will go through Jaidus Cadilla application for restricted emergency use permission known as EUA in other countries to check for any missing information. Thereafter, a meeting of the subject expert committee of the CDSCO will be convened. During this meeting, the company will present the data and make its case for an EUA. Based on the data submitted and presented to them, the SEC will decide whether the vaccine should be recommended for an EUA. It will also look into details such as whether there is sufficient data to back the use of this vaccine in adolescents between the ages of 12 and 18 years, and whether there is merit to the company's findings that 2 doses of the vaccine prompt an immune response that is equivalent to 3-dose regimen. If cleared, by when will the vaccine be available and what will it cost? Jaidus Cadilla is setting up a new facility to manufacture up to 120 million doses a year. This would mean up to 40 million people can be vaccinated with 3 shots of JYCOV-D in a year. The new facility is expected to be ready by the end of this month and production is expected to begin by mid-August, according to Dr. Patel. The company will be producing 10 million doses every month then on and hopes to supply 50 million doses to the country by December. The company has not yet decided on a price of the vaccine, Dr. Patel said. Thank you.